as I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between Mike Johnson being in charge and the Democrats being in charge. The deficit this year will be $1.5 to $2 trillion, and that's Mike Johnson's bill. He put it forward. He supported it with a minority of Republicans, with a majority of Democrats. This is not using the power of the purse. This is abdicating the power of the purse.
Well, why? Why do you think that is?
You know, people have to be strong in their convictions. He was seen as a conservative before he came to the speakership, but now he puts a tweet out the other day saying, oh, they whispered to him about 702, how important it is, and now he's completely changed and lost all his principles on the idea that you shouldn't spy on Americans without a warrant. On the spending issue, they say, oh, government will shut down. But if the Democrats want this level of spending, we want this level, a compromise would be splitting the difference. The Democrats got everything they want in the spending, and all the hawks got what they want, too. This is a problem. On the Republican side, we have people who want unlimited military spending, and then the Democrats want unlimited welfare spending, and they get both. But Johnson hasn't held his ground. He has power. He has a majority. Use the power of the purse, Speaker Johnson. Do something to make us think you are different than the Democrats. But so far, I don't see a lot of difference.
Wow.
He's going to cause us to lose the majority at this point. He's completely demotivated our base. He's disappointed us in the conference. And everybody out in America will acknowledge this, but they won't acknowledge it here in D.C. yet. He can't be Speaker again.
Speaker Johnson refuses to use his power as Speaker of the House to do any type of negotiating to secure the southern border and stop the madness in our country. The people criticizing me are not the American people. The American people agree with me, and I've talked to them, and I've seen it all over. They are outraged, and what they're saying is they don't want to vote for Republicans anymore because in their eyes, their opinion and how they feel and how they're treated, the Republican Party in charge right now is no different than the Democrat Party. It's one big uniparty that serves the world first and America last. So I really could care less about their criticism. They didn't send me to Washington. I do not work for them. As a matter of fact, I came to Washington because I myself, as a regular American, was fed up with the uniparty as well.
10 liberal, big government Republicans vote with the Democrats, and the Democrats get what they want. But now Mike Johnson's voting with a minority of his party. He's the leader of his party, and he's not voting with the majority of the Republicans were for a warrant requirement. The majority of the Republicans were not for having a deficit of $1.5 trillion, and yet he's siding with the Democrats. That's ineffective leadership. And if he wants to remain Speaker, frankly, he's going to do better because, you know, I wanted to give him a break, and I have for a couple months. This is the first time I've really spoken out. But the Speaker's got to be a Speaker. He's got to be a leader of his party, not a capitulator to the other party.
What about leadership in the Senate? Who would you like to see replace Mitch McConnell?
Anyone at this point would be better because he now has decided that Ukraine and sending our money to Ukraine that we have to borrow is more important than anything, including our border. The whole fiasco of getting that thing started with ineffective border control that we ended up rejecting in the end was all Senator McConnell's idea, and it was a disaster. It's led to Democrats now saying, oh, well, look, we offered you this great border bill, and you didn't take it. It was a crummy border bill. It was a crummy deal. We never should have done it.
With Congressman Massie also saying, quote, we can pretend here that he's not a lame duck, but everybody in America knows that he can't get 218 on January 3, 2025. So he is a lame duck Speaker. We're trying to keep the House. There's a reason his fundraising is less than half of what Kevin McCarthy's was. Whether I like it or not, the Speaker of the House is the fundraiser in chief for the majority party. And we're going to have lackluster fundraising now, with everybody, especially the donors, being aware that he is not the next Speaker. It would behoove us to get somebody in there. All right, so
Mike Johnson's speakership is over. He needs to do the right thing to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process. If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated.
Well, with all due respect, you didn't give me a plan for the Speaker's role. And again, does this mean you are going to file that motion at some point?
It's coming regardless of what Mike Johnson decides to do. And we have 3 more Republicans joining us from special elections coming up very soon. So people need to know this can happen.
Congressman, thank you for being here. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically
It's not about agenda. It's not about mobilizing people. It's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.